Chicago, 1893. A city shimmering with the promise of progress, a beacon of innovation and opportunity. Yet, beneath the veneer of progress, a darkness festered. Herman Webster Mudgett, known to the world as H. Holmes, cast a long shadow over the bustling streets. Handsome and charismatic, he was a predator disguised as a respectable businessman. Holmes preyed on the vulnerable, drawn to the city by the allure of the World's Fair. Young women, seeking their fortunes, became pawns in his twisted game. The World's Fair Hotel, later dubbed the Murder Castle by a horrified public, became a silent witness to unspeakable horrors. Behind its unassuming facade, the hotel was a labyrinth of secret passages, hidden rooms, and soundproof chambers. It was a testament to Holmes's depraved ingenuity, a place where his victims met their gruesome ends. As the body count rose, so did suspicion. The relentless pursuit of justice would eventually pierce the veil of deception, exposing the monster lurking beneath.
Herman Mudgett, later known as H. Holmes, was born into a world far removed from the horrors he would inflict. His childhood in New Hampshire was, by all accounts, ordinary. Yet even in his youth there were glimpses of the darkness that would come to define him. A morbid fascination with death, a proclivity for cruelty to animals. These disturbing signs hinted at the monster he would become. Holmes possessed a keen intellect, excelling in his studies and displaying a particular aptitude for science. This thirst for knowledge, however, took a sinister turn, evolving into a morbid curiosity about anatomy and the mechanics of death. Driven by an insatiable greed and a chilling lack of empathy, Holmes embarked on a life of deceit and manipulation. He drifted from town to town, leaving a trail of broken promises and petty crimes in his wake. The burgeoning metropolis of Chicago, with its anonymity and endless opportunities for exploitation, proved the perfect breeding ground for Holmes's dark ambitions. Holmes's murder castle was not merely a place of residence, it was an intricately designed instrument of death. Conceived and constructed during the frenzy of the World's Fair, the hotel was designed to both entice and entrap. Its ornate facade, promising luxury and comfort, masked a sinister reality. Behind the veneer of respectability lay a killing ground meticulously crafted for Holmes's gruesome purposes. The hotel was a labyrinth of secret passages and hidden rooms, each serving a specific and horrifying purpose. Gas jets controlled from Holmes's own bedroom could be used to asphyxiate unsuspecting guests. Soundproof chambers muffled the screams of his victims, their cries for help swallowed by the very walls meant to provide shelter. A massive vault, disguised as a safe, became a tomb for many. The basement housed surgical tables, a crematorium, and an array of surgical instruments, chilling evidence of Holmes's macabre fascination with death and dismemberment. The design of the murder castle was a physical manifestation of Holmes's twisted psyche. Holmes's victims, predominantly young women, were drawn to Chicago by the promise of a better life. The allure of the World's Fair, with its dazzling exhibits and air of excitement, proved irresistible. These women, seeking adventure, employment, or simply escape from their everyday lives, became easy prey for a cunning predator like Holmes. He was a master manipulator, weaving elaborate tales of love, marriage, and opportunity to ensnare his victims. He would offer them employment at his hotel, promising good wages and a chance to experience the wonders of the fair. Many were charmed by his charisma and good looks, their trust easily earned with a disarming smile and promises of a brighter future. Once inside the walls of his hotel, Holmes exerted complete control. Their stories were tragically similar, disappearances shrouded in mystery, whispers of foul play dismissed by a public eager to believe in the facade of respectability. Holmes's reign of terror, built on a foundation of deceit and fueled by arrogance, was ultimately destined to crumble. As the body count rose, so too did suspicion. Whispers of missing persons coupled with Holmes's increasingly erratic behavior began to attract unwelcome attention. A series of insurance scams motivated by Holmes's insatiable greed proved to be his undoing. His attempts to fake his own death, using a corpse stolen from a medical school, were clumsy and unconvincing. The authorities, alerted to his schemes, began to close in, their suspicions growing with each new revelation. The discovery of the murder castle, its gruesome secrets laid bare, sent shockwaves through Chicago and beyond. The public, initially captivated by Holmes's charisma and tales of success, recoiled in horror at the realization of his true nature. Holmes's trial was a media frenzy, his crimes recounted in lurid detail. In 1896, H.H. Holmes was found guilty of murder and sentenced to death. Even in death, H.H. Holmes continues to cast a long shadow. His crimes, a chilling blend of premeditation and brutality, continue to fascinate and horrify in equal measure. The story of the Murder Castle, a macabre monument to his depravity, has become a staple of true crime lore, endlessly analyzed and reimagined. The enduring fascination with Holmes stems in part from the sheer scale and audacity of his crimes. The meticulous design of his murder hotel, the cold-blooded efficiency with which he dispatched his victims, and his chilling ability to blend in with polite society continue to captivate and disturb. Beyond the gruesome details, however, lies a deeper fascination with the darkness that resides within the human heart. Holmes's story serves as a chilling reminder that monsters often wear the faces of ordinary men, their true nature concealed beneath a veneer of normalcy. The case also continues to resonate in an age grappling with its own anxieties about trust and deception. The legacy of H.H. Holmes extends far beyond his crimes. His case forced law enforcement to confront serial murder and the need for sophisticated techniques. It exposed the system's limitations in dealing with calculated brutality, highlighting the need for better communication and forensic investigation. Holmes's case prompted a reassessment of women's safety. The vulnerability of women in urban centers became a national debate. Holmes's crimes forced a nation to confront the truth about hidden monsters. The question of what drove H.H. Holmes to commit such unspeakable acts continues to intrigue and baffle criminologists and psychologists alike. Was he born evil, a product of some inherent darkness, or were there environmental factors that shaped his descent into depravity? Some experts point to potential neurological abnormalities, suggesting that damage to certain areas of the brain may have impaired his ability to experience empathy or remorse. Others focus on the psychological impact of a troubled childhood, arguing that early exposure to death and cruelty may have desensitized him to violence. Still, others believe that Holmes's crimes were driven by a combination of factors, a perfect storm of psychopathy, narcissism, and an insatiable lust for power and control. His intelligence, charm, and utter lack of conscience, rather than being mitigating factors, became tools that enabled him to manipulate and exploit others with chilling effectiveness. Ultimately, the question of what drove H.H. Holmes may never be definitively answered. The story of H.H. Holmes, though rooted in a specific time and place, continues to resonate with a chilling familiarity. It speaks to our deepest fears about the fragility of trust, the seductive nature of evil, and the vulnerability inherent in the human condition. Holmes's victims, lured by their hopes and dreams, serve as tragic reminders that even the most cautious among us can fall prey to those who prey on our better instincts. Their stories underscore the importance of vigilance, the need to question appearances, and the dangers of surrendering our trust too easily. Holmes's ability to manipulate and deceive, to present a carefully constructed facade of respectability, serves as a chilling reminder that evil often wears a human face. It highlights the importance of critical thinking, the need to look beyond superficial charm, and the courage to acknowledge uncomfortable truths. In the end, the story of H.H. Holmes is a cautionary tale, a reminder that the battle between good and evil is timeless and ongoing.